I want to show you a way that I found out over the years that it makes it easy to play chord progressions that may look kind of complicated on paper, especially if you're not used to playing more kind of rich, soulful chords like or jazz chords, as some people will think of them. I'm thinking of this more in kind of a soul or neo-soul kind of perspective. I've played a lot of that kind of music, and I've just noticed that there's chord progressions that, using these kind of major sevens, major nines, suspended chords, minor nines, these kind of things, that a lot of these chords in a progression tend to share a lot of the same notes. And so sometimes, especially when I'm playing with a bass player and I'm not playing the root notes as much, I find myself playing simple shapes that work over multiple chords, and I'm not really changing all that much, except for like the little notes that I want to create little melody lines with and stuff. So I'm gonna show you a progression. It's just a basic 1, 4, 2, 5. So the progression is just E flat major, A flat major, F minor to B flat, and B flat major. Or in this case, it's going to be a suspended chord. And I'll explain what that is in a minute in case it's new to you. But we're going to use basically a lot of the same notes. We're going to use some melody notes up here on the second and first string on all of these different chords. And for 3 out of the 4 chords, we're going to keep the top 3 notes of the chord the exact same. So hopefully this will show you how you can play some of these really rich and beautiful sounding chords with minimal movement of your hand. So I've got 2 ways that we're gonna look at this, and this is the first one. I'm just playing a regular E flat major 7, 5th string root. We can get to this from thinking about like a regular type 2 bar chord at E flat. This is 6th fret on the 5th string. That's a root note, and we're just gonna take this octave of that we have in our bar chord. We're just going to drop that note by a half step. So this is a basic major 7 voicing, which is, I think, the first major 7 voicing that a lot of people learn, at least for like a 5th string root note kind of voicing. So, and when I'm playing this voicing, I have all these notes where I can make melodies without even, moving my hand a whole lot. I'm basically just using my pinky to play the notes around the top of the chord. So the melody I'm going to play, I'm just going to keep this melody pretty much the same through all these chords. I'm going from the 2 of the chord, which is with my bar, to the 3. Then the 5 of the chord, again with my bar, to the 6 of the chord. I'm playing the chord, but just leaving my pinky off at first and hammering on into that 3rd. It makes a pretty little melody on this major 7 chord. And then to go to the 4 chord, A flat, we're going to keep our pinky right here. We're going to keep our bar here and just move to the A flat, which is right next to the E flat we were doing before on the 5th string. Now we're going to be on the 4th string. This is an A flat. And I've got 6th fret, 8th fret, 8th fret, and then I'm going to hold this bar at the 6th fret. And this chord is kind of an A flat major 9, though I don't have a 3rd in it. The 3rd would be here, or I would have a 3rd here, but a lot of times I find in this kind of a progression, you don't always need that 3rd. I mean, it really defines the chord often, but when you're playing this kind of a thing, I'm usually playing with a keyboard player. They'll be playing the 3rd. It'll be kind of implied by the way it sounds. But also when you're playing by yourself, if I go to this, just related to that, the way that it sounds in context with that E flat major 7, it still sounds like a major chord, even though I'm not playing the 3rd. So I'm going to do that melody again, but now here's my chord. I'm going to go just like that. So there's my E flat major 7, A flat, and so I've got that 1 to the 4 chord, and then I'm going to go keep the same exact notes on top here, all that stuff. I'm going to add that F in the bass, which is 8th fret on the 5th string. Now, the trickiest part about this one is keeping your bar. So I've got 8th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret, 8th fret, and then on top I want to keep that bar across the 6th fret so I can play that note up there, which is, in relation to F, is like the 4th of the scale up from F, or it's like the 11. It's kind of like a minor 11 chord, or I think of it as like a minor 9 because this is a very typical minor 9 chord voicing. But if I do the same thing that I did before, now I've got it over my 2 chord, F minor 9. And if I put those together, I got my E flat major 7 to A flat major 7 to F minor 9. And then again, we're just going to keep these 3 notes the same, put it over a B flat. I could do the same exact melody. Of course, you could change it up too, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just doing the same melody. And then I've got this nice progression, little chord melody kind of thing. And that's a really pretty progression that has a kind of, that kind of neo-soul kind of sound where you're doing a lot of melodic stuff on top, doing some hammer-ons. And you can take these melody notes that we've been playing with, just these 4 notes, the melody notes we've been playing with, and you can change them over each chord. You can vary between the chords to create different ideas, like... That's a very easy way to navigate this progression that can, on paper look a little difficult, especially if you're newer to these type of chord voicings where you've got like, major 7s, major 9, minor 9, and then like a sus chord. So I want to take a minute to explain what I call a sus chord. It's you could call it a B flat 13 sus suspended. Sus stands for suspended. Oftentimes, what that usually means is that you're, instead of the 3rd, you're suspending it up to the 4th of the scale. It gives it that feeling of kind of wanting to resolve to the 3rd, but it doesn't always have to. A lot of times in this kind of music, the 5 chord won't be just like a regular 7th chord because that sounds a little more drastic. The sus chord has a very gentle kind of sound. It doesn't pull as hard back to the root note, but it's a really nice sound. Oftentimes you'll see this as like a this voicing, which is basically just playing a 4 chord A flat major triad over a B flat. So that would be like a B flat, 11 or whatever. I just call them sus chords because it's this family of chords where you have like the 3rd suspended up to the 4th and the 5th suspended up to the 6th, which is also known as the 13 when you're in the higher octave. So this is the first thing. And the one thing I'm doing here on that last chord, the sus chord, I'll show you when I get there. You may have noticed I'm plucking, hybrid picking, because I don't want to play this string, 5th string. If I strum through and I'm just barring here, I'm going to get that note there, which doesn't sound bad in this context, but I just don't want that note, so I'm just plucking the upper 3 notes with these 3 fingers and then hitting the root note with my pick. That's another melodic idea you can do over this. I want to show you one more way to play this. Same progression, just with some different chord voicings. Just to show again how you can use these chord voicings that don't change very much to play over these chord progressions that seem more complicated than they actually are. E flat major 7 we're going to do this time is a root position again, but this time we're going 1, 3, 5, 7. So I've got 6th fret on the 5th string, 5th fret 4th string, and then the 3rd fret 3rd and 2nd string. This is just a nice little close position major 7 chord. And for this one, I've got a couple notes I'm going to play with. When I'm doing these melodic notes, I'm moving fingers from other positions. I'm trying to let whatever notes I can ring out, and then changing the fingers to get those melodic notes and to create whatever melody. Simple is king. Simple melodies with those notes, and then we're going to go to we're actually going to do a slightly different progression. We're going to go, instead of the 4 chord, we're going to go to the 6th chord. And here again, just like we did with this chord up here, this A flat, where we're playing a A flat major 9 without the 3rd, we're going to do in this position a C minor 9 without a 3rd, but I have my melody notes, the same melody notes I used for that chord there. I can mess with all of those notes. But the arrangement of this is 1, 5, flat 7, 9. Got all of those notes that I can mess with to create melodies around this chord. And then we're going to go to an F minor 7 again. And this voicing is not a good one to play. Like, I really never play this full voicing. The only reason I'm showing it like this is because when I'm doing this, oftentimes I'm playing these 3 notes if a bass player is playing F. This is just an A flat major triad. I'm playing over F. I'm reaching with my pinky here. But if you can't reach that, it's totally fine, because it's not, I wouldn't really play this voicing, but it's just to kind of let you hear that in context. And then I'm going to keep this A flat major triad, and I'm going to play a B flat in the bass. So I switched my fingering from these 3 to putting my pinky where my 3rd finger was and reaching 3rd finger to the 6th string on B flat. Now I've got a B flat 7 suspended, or A flat over B flat, or a B flat, 11, however you want to call it, but it's this one. And this is a very common chord in soul music, neo soul. You hear it all the time. You hear it in, like, Rock With You, Michael Jackson. That chord right there. But it's a good chord to know if you're going to play any of this kind of music, because it happens all the time. Lots of sus chords. So I'll play that whole thing. So we got E flat major 7, minor 9, F minor 7, to B flat sus, and the part that I just was kind of focusing on, what you could play if you're playing with a bass player and you don't have to keep all those bass notes going, is I'm just playing here a triad, G minor triad, which is the top of a E flat major 7 chord. So G minor triad, and then when that bass note goes down to C, now this same exact chord is the C minor 9. And then when I go to the F minor 7, I've got this triad here. Over F is the F minor 7, and then over B flat, it's the B flat sus. So if I was playing with a bass player, didn't have to cover those bass notes, I could play something like this. And the bass note goes down to C, and I'm still here. Then I go here for over the F, and over the B flat. So my progression becomes 2 different triads with easy melody notes that I can cover. So that can hopefully encourage you to find some easy ways to navigate these progressions, especially diatonic progressions when you're using these more rich and full 7th and 9th type of chords.